Hello everyone. So I just got back from watching The Hobbit in HFR. Now if you don't know what HFR means, it just means higher frame rate. I'll get into that in a second. Basically what it means is that traditionally movies are filmed in 24 frames per second. The Hobbit was filmed in 48 frames per second. So that's double the rate at which a normal movie is filmed in. What that means is that it makes it look more realistic. Like, it makes it look as if you were there on the set. Now, if you saw it in HFR, then you know what I'm talking about. If you saw it in 24 frames per second, then you won't know what I'm talking about. Unless, if you've ever been to Best Buy, Walmart, etc., you've seen how they have a movie playing on the TV and the movie looks rather realistic. That's an effect that 48 frames per second does. It's not the same thing because, well, a movie filmed in it gives it a much different effect than the TV giving it that effect. Okay? Now that we've covered that, The Hobbit. Okay. I wasn't excited for this movie. It wasn't really my top choice to go. Like, I wasn't really like, oh my god, like I've been with other movies. This one was just like, okay, it's coming out, cool. I saw the trailer for it. It was like, okay, cool. It kind of caught me on a bit. Before it was even announced that it was coming out, when it was in production, because it had budget issues and shit like that, I was just like, okay. Now, when Peter Jackson, the director, was like, oh, we're shooting it in 48 frames per second, then it intrigued me because at first I wasn't too fond of the idea because movies are, you can't make it look real. I mean, you can try to make it look real, but then it just kind of ruins the whole effect of, you know, you get my idea. So I was just like, okay then, cool, not cool. Like, I wasn't really fond of the idea. It's just like, it's gonna look shitty. As it was coming closer, I was only interested in watching it if they released it in Mexico in HFR, because that's honestly the only reason I went. Like, I love the Lord of the Rings series, but this didn't really intrigue me enough to actually go watch it. So if they didn't release an HFR here, I would wait till it would have come out on Blu-ray or DVD. But they did release it in HFR here, which is pretty cool, and in 3D and subtitled. So I went to go watch it today, and I got more than what I had expected, honestly. It was, before the movie even begins, like, as soon as you see the whole Warner Bros. Logo and stuff, you can tell the difference between 24 and 48 frames per second. Even, like, as he's walking through the corridor, Bilbo in the beginning, as he's walking through the corridor, you can easily tell what it just looks so good. I mean, it actually fit. I was expecting it to be kind of a disaster, but it was great. And if you saw it in 24, whatever, because this movie was filmed in so many different cameras. I mean, it was filmed in 24 2D and 3D. It was filmed in 48 2D, 3D, and IMAX 3D. It was filmed with so many different cameras that it's like, but 48 was only released in some areas. So if you didn't get a chance to watch it in 48, that sucks. If you watch it in 24, then that's great, because it's like, the movie itself was amazing, honestly. Peter Jackson did an amazing job. But if you're able to watch it in HFR or 48, I'm just gonna keep saying HFR from now on, because anyways, if you're able to watch it in HFR, I highly recommend it. And in 3D, it looks even, well, for me, it was more amazing. Now, it does have its pros and cons. Okay? One of the things that I didn't like was the overuse of special effects. Now, I understand all movies use special effects and so on and so forth, but this movie kind of like overdid that. I mean, before we get into that, before I forget, I want to mention the landscaping, the cinematography. The landscapes, like the Shire, when they showed, honestly, I don't remember all the places that they mentioned. Like the dwarves' main area, when they showed Rivendell, I think it's called, where the elves lives. that in HFR looks astounding. Like, it looks like it's actually there. Seriously, like, it's not like special effects. Like, in HFR, it looks like it's actually there. Like, they didn't use any special effects for that, okay? Also, the giant battle between the giant rock monsters and whatnot, that was pretty amazing. Because it's like, it feels like you're actually there. It kind of, the special effects, it's like, you can tell they're there, but at the same time, it's like, you can't tell they're there, if that makes any sense. Okay, now, back to the overuse of special effects. For the Lord of the Rings series, for the most part, they did just special effects. But when it comes to the creatures, like the orcs and shit like that, in the Lord of the Rings series, it was actually people in costumes. Like, you can tell the difference between the special effects ones and the people in costumes. In this one, it looks like they used 2 people for costumes, and then they were just like, let's do a 300 move and just duplicate the rest. Most of the, not even that, like, 2 of the orcs, I believe they're called, the ones that ride the wolf things, like 2 of them looked people in costumes. The others, and the pale one, computerized. Then the other things, the ones where they fall into the hole and then it comes out with that fat dude, those things, I don't know what they're called. Those things, computerized. The wolves, computerized. I didn't really like that. It just kind of like killed it, like killed my thing. It was just like, really? Like, come on. I mean, if you can afford all these expensive cameras and all these different things and stuff like that, you can't afford to hire a couple more makeup artists or costume designers for that? Come on now. Well, I totally understand the fat guy. The fat guy, I couldn't really see him as being a person in a costume, or even as that. Yeah, I couldn't see him as a person in a costume. Well, I mean, Guillermo del Toro managed to make for Pan's Labyrinth, managed that frog under the tree was actually a real frog. It was, well, not real, but it was actually an animatronic. You know, it was like robot-y. Maybe that fat guy, but you wouldn't get the same facial expressions. Anyways, that's not my point. So I didn't like the overuse of special effects. What else is there? What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the dragon. I liked how they kept it a mystery. Like, they didn't really show much of it. They just showed the basics. I do understand. I haven't read the book, so bear with me here. I have not read the book. Okay, before I went to go see this, I did not. I repeat, did not read the book. So all I'm basing this off is what I know about the Lord of the Rings series, and well, this. The dragon, I believe he becomes Sauron at the end. Well, because they're making this into 3 movies. Like the Lord of the Rings, how they made one every year, every December. Well, this one is going to stretch to summer of 2014. So the next one is coming out December 2013, and the one after that is July 2014. Kind of like how they did The Matrix in May, and then in November they released the last one. Yes, how do I remember all these dates? Because I just do. Anyways. So I believe that dragon becomes Sauron, right? Now, if you read the book and know exactly, then let me know, because, well, when he opened his eye, it was rather obvious, but still let me know. Because, well, really don't want to wait. I have to wait, but anyways, I kind of don't want to. That's not my point. So he becomes Sauron, and then Saruman, the White Wizard, ends up with his whole evil plot and stuff like that, right? Okay. Now, the dwarves. I don't understand what Bilbo has to steal. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. I was paying attention, but a lot of things were going on, and a lot of things were, like, killing me. Like, when the hedgehog almost died, I was like, I almost wanted to cry. You could feel the tears building up. It was really emotional. Anyways, I wasn't really quite sure what the Hobbit needed to steal. Was it that little sphere that the king of dwarves had and shit? I wasn't really sure, but yeah, if you know, let me know in the comments or Facebook or whatever. What else was I gonna say about this? Okay, so that covers the 48 frames per second, Oh, yeah. So, if you haven't seen it and you plan on watching it, go watch it. But watch it in 48 frames per second if you can. And if you can, watch it in 48 frames per second 3D if it's available in your area. Because it looks better, honestly. I wish more movies were actually made like that. As much as I love the traditional 24 frames per second, the way they made this work was amazing. And if more movies were filmed like that, I'd be pretty happy. I mean, it looks amazing. It looks gorgeous. It didn't really kill the effect for me. Oh, before I forget, yeah, the overuse of special effects. We're going back to that. The scene where one of the dwarves is using his elbows like bloop, 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 to flip the plate back and forth. I didn't appreciate that. Like, it looked like someone was just randomly using their elbows like bloop, 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 bloop. Like, and then there was nothing actually there. Like, they just computerized it. I mean, you couldn't really... Oh, I understand that. It's not... It wasn't going to be humanely possible to even do that. Like, put one plate from one place to another. But at least put a little more effort into the effect. It just looks so horrible. Like, nothing was even there. But good thing the shot was only like 3 seconds or so. I wasn't really, like, focused on it. But it still looked pretty horrible. Also, Elijah Wood. I don't understand why he was even in it. He was, like... There was no reason for him to be in there, like, did he get paid for this? I mean, if he got paid for this, how much did he get paid for it? I mean, were they just like, hey, Elijah, listen, we're in the Hobbit, we need you to be in screen for like a good 3 or 4 minutes. These are your lines, and this is all you have to do, and this is how much you're gonna get paid. And he's like, yeah, but I mean, who would do that? I mean, for that amount of money? I mean, they had to pay him quite a lot, I'm guessing, to be able just to be on that. Because wherever he lives, he has to fly out to the studio, then he has to go through makeup, and who wants to go through all that just to be on screen for that long? I mean, that's why the original werewolf in the New Underworld Awakening, the original Michael wasn't in it, because it wasn't on screen for like a couple minutes. Nobody wants to be on screen for a couple minutes. I mean, that extra money they gave to Elijah, it could have gone towards another makeup artist or more costumes and shit like that, but maybe I'm just overthinking it. Anyways, that's it on The Hobbit for me. I mean, it was pretty amazing. I'm really excited for the next one, and well, the next two. And like I said, if you get the chance, watch it in HFR, because this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing, unless when it comes out on DVD, you have a really cool TV that supports HFR, and you're able to watch it, and so on and so forth. But, if not, then really go watch it in HFR. It gives it a whole new effect. Like, more movies need to be made this way. Like, I need to congratulate Peter Jackson on Twitter or some shit. So, yeah. Thanks for watching.